Hi guys, as many of you know, the first two instalments in the Monkey Island franchise are among my all-time favourite games. The graphical style, gameplay and challenge absolutely blew me away back in my Amiga days, and above all else the humour was second to none. Developed by LucasArts using the Stump engine, the Monkey Island games are point-and-click adventures in which you play Guybrush Threepwood, a bumbling wannabe pirate. The Stump interface, which stands for Script Creation Utility for Maniac Mansion, was created for Maniac Mansion, hence the name, and revolutionised how point-and-click adventure games were played. To celebrate my love for the games, here are 10 facts about Monkey Island that you possibly didn't know. In the first game, The Secret of Monkey Island, there's a troll guarding a bridge on Melee Island. When he removes his mask to reveal he is in fact a man in a troll suit, we discover that it's a pixelated version of the LucasArts founder George Lucas. The artists of Monkey Island use a program called Deluxe Paint, which anyone who owned an Amiga will be familiar with, and it saves files as brush files. When designing the main character, the file was saved as guy.brush, hence the name Guybrush. The last name Threepwood was chosen from a list of names by an office vote, and it was the name of a family in the books by P.G. Wodehouse. In the original version of The Secret of Monkey Island, there's a tree stump in the forest. When players examine the stump, the game prompts the player to insert discs 22, 23, 47 or 114. Because the game was originally planned to be divided between 8 floppy disks, this was meant to be a joke. LucasArts help desk received so many calls regarding these missing discs that they were forced to remove the joke from subsequent releases of the game. The only person who knows what the real secret of Monkey Island is the series creator Ron Gilbert. In an interview with designer Threads, he revealed that he never disclosed the true secret to anyone. Gilbert worked on the first 2 Monkey Island games before the series was handed over to another team, and he never had the chance to finish the trilogy the way in which he intended. He had a vision for the true 3rd instalment and how the series would come to an end. Sadly, with Disney now owning the rights to the Monkey Island franchise, it's unlikely that we'll ever see it. Early in development, Alain Marley was simply known as the Governor. While writing the wedding scene, Dave Grossman wanted to insert a joke where Guybrush shouts "Elaine" as a reference to The Graduate. Ron Gilbert, the game's director, liked the joke and her name became Elaine. One of the most memorable elements of the first game is the legendary insult sword fighting. Orson Scott Card, author of the Enders game series, with the assistance of his kids, came up with the insults for these iconic segments of the game. LucasArts were moving away from previous adventure game standards, in that they decided to remove the concept of permadeath from the games. Although the games were made with the intention of the character not being able to die, one possible death does exist in each game. In The Secret of Monkey Island, at one point Guybrush is thrown underwater with an idol tied to his leg. If the player stays underwater for 10 minutes, Guybrush will drown. This is a reference to Guybrush's claim that he can hold his breath for 10 minutes. In Monkey Island 2, when in LeChuck's torture chamber, Guybrush must spit to extinguish the flame of a candle to prevent it from setting into motion an elaborate death machine. If you wait too long, the flame will cut the rope and Guybrush and Wally will fall to their deaths into a pit of acid. Monkey Island 2 was the first game released under the LucasArts brand. Previous games by the studio were released under Lucasfilm Games. Likewise, this marks the first appearance of the iconic Gold Guy logo. George Lucas had a hands-off approach to running Lucasfilm Games, and mostly let the development teams work unsupervised. However, he would occasionally visit and review what the company did. One of his visits occurred in the midst of developing The Secret of Monkey Island. Lucas reportedly liked the game, the style and the comedy. According to Tim Schafer, Lucas gave a piece of advice which proved invaluable. Originally, Guybrush was a very generic and bland character, and Lucas suggested that the team focus on making the character more jokey and funny, since he felt that the star of the game was being eclipsed by the wacky supporting cast. As a result, Guybrush was given more comedic dialogue. The movie Pirates of the Caribbean is curiously similar to The Secret of Monkey Island. The plot of the first Pirates of the Caribbean movie also features a bumbling swashbuckler who must gather a crew of pirates to rescue the woman he loves while dealing with a mysterious supernatural curse. The character William Turner sounds somewhat like Guybrush Threepwood, does he not? The characters even dress alike. In Pirates of the Caribbean, the love interest is Elizabeth Swann, the governor's daughter. In Monkey Island, her name is Alain Marley and she is the governor. Elizabeth is captured by an undead pirate and his skeleton crew. In Monkey Island, Elaine is captured by the ghost pirate LeChuck and his skeleton crew. Both involve zombies, cannibals, pet monkeys, and a black voodoo priestess who lives in a shack in the middle of a swamp. At one point in the Pirates of the Caribbean Dead Man's Chest, Jack Sparrow even uses a coffin as a makeshift rowing boat, just like the one Guybrush uses to reach the voodoo lady's shack. There's even a pirate town made out of ships, just like Woodtick on Scab Island in Monkey Island 2. Monkey Island's creator Ron Gilbert has admitted that he was inspired by the original Pirates of the Caribbean Disney ride upon which the movies are based, and also the 1987 novel On the Stranger Tides, which was loosely adapted into the fourth Pirates film. But that doesn't even begin to explain the similarities, as none of the aforementioned elements featured in the original ride. The only common element that could be attributed to the novel is the voodoo zombie aspect. However, Pirates producer Jerry Bruckheimer says the screenwriters only discovered the book while filming the second and third movies. Well, that's it for my 10 Monkey Island facts, folks. If you haven't played either game before, I thoroughly recommend that you check them out. The special edition versions, updated with high definition graphics and voice acting, are available on several modern platforms. See you next time.